What's up? What's
The
up?
conversation, the conversation y'all are having is so necessary for our culture. Period.
Yeah, yeah.
When we're talking about, can you hear me?
Yeah,
I
you
do.
good. Go ahead.
Stephanie,
Oh, okay, cool.
you
Yo,
look like you from California.
you know,
You got
I
that
be out
Cali
here
rap
doing
like
my
that.
thing. I got on my.
That Cali swag, like
You
dripped up.
already know though. You are, and it. Look, I'm zipped up like it's 59 degrees out here. It ain't that. It's probably like a high 60. Oh,
Hmm.
this is weird. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I wanted to speak to you guys were having a conversation
Yep,
about how black owned companies oftentimes overprice their products.
yep.
And I was just having this conversation not too long ago with a homegirl. I used to work in a black beauty supply, right? And it was owned by some Liberians. Boom. And their hair products, when it was time to do inventory, this Chinese man would come in and do the purchasing for us. And I
Hmm.
asked the owner why was this Chinese man purchasing the hair products? He was like, because they will not sell to us because we're black. And not only sometimes will they not sell to us, they will overprice their products. So then that would make my price in the beauty supply go higher.
Yep.
So when you all were talking about that, oftentimes these other cultures who monetize off of our culture monopolize, right? They monopolize that industry and push us out, which is wild to me. And then on top of that, just talking about how we function and how we move as a culture in America, a lot of this has to do it derives from like slavery, obviously, right? Like the Willie Lynch syndrome, post traumatic slave syndrome. All of that has this natural effect on our community. And until we are, number one, able to identify it and rectify it, we'll be able to advance the culture. Do I think we've made advancements? Yes. But do I think there are still spaces for us to get better? Absolutely. And I think that's like standing in solidarity and things, right? Like being all together on one page. If we're going to not, support H&M because they called our kid a monkey, then we all need to be doing that. Because when we look at our money, we're like $1 trillion. Like we hold this is no cap, like $1 trillion worth of economic stance in our country, just the black community alone. And none of that is being cycled within our community. Like, I don't know if y'all seen, what's his, Mike, what is his name? Killer Mike. He did that documentary on Netflix. Y'all seen that?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
were
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about
We
it
seen
earlier.
that.
I seen it. Yes.
Yeah, and like, he wasn't able to live off a black dollar. Like, we ain't got
Yeah.
no grocery stores, we ain't got no
Yep.
pharmacies. So, long story short, like, I'm in agreement with what y'all are talking about. I know you didn't want to talk about politics. All I was saying was simply this country was not built to support us. Systemic racism has been built to oppress people who look like us. So to look for them to support our community is dumb. Like we need to look at each other. Like what could we do amongst each other to bring our culture up? Because we're looking for the government to give us resources. If we're looking for the government to fix what's wrong in our communities, it's dumb. Like we really need to be focusing on the playbook of like the Black Panthers. You feel me? So I'm gonna say that I said a lot. I don't want to take up and
No, no, no,
monopolize
no.
all y'all
Listen,
time.
sugar,
I
sugar.
appreciate y'all.
No, no, Stephanie, don't do that, baby. Listen, you can talk all you want here. You can
Okay.
talk all you want here. Don't stop. But what I was
You
going
don't
to
get
tell
it
you is
hot than
this.
a motherfucker in this car though. It's
Yeah.
hot than a bitch now. I got this jacket on.
But
Okay.
what I was going to say is this. I like what you say, and I look at it from a different perspective. We've been
Mhm.
having the Willie Lynch conversation forever. One thing we do not talk
Yeah,
about is economics.
I agree. But
That's
can I
that's
say
the,
this piece?
go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with you. The economics piece definitely needs to be discussed. But if I'm mentally not if my mental is not solid, I don't care how much money, how much education you give me, I'm not going to be able to do right by the money. If mentally I'm disoriented or mentally I'm not processing things appropriately. Like that's why we got motherfuckers like Candace Owens who making
But
money, but the,
but I'm gonna be real with you. The same talking points I've heard that 7 years ago.
I agree.
We've been talking about the whole mental thing is 7 years ago. I want us
I
to get
agree.
purely on economics. I'm gonna tell you why. Asians have the lowest voting turn. You know that, right? They don't
Mhm.
vote.
Mhm.
They don't vote. They're not on public assistance. All they get help only within their own community. Some of them are
Mhm.
even illegal aliens here.
Mhm.
If they want to get a loan, they go to an Asian. If they want to get support, they go to an Asian. If they want to get a job, they go to an Asian. The problem is us trying to figure out to create an ecosystem within another ecosystem. We've done it before. Booker T. Washington, if a lot of people go read his book, a lot of white people supported him, which they say he was a coon and a bootlicker, but nobody wanted to attack them people at Tuskegee because they wasn't out here asking for handouts. Don't get me wrong. I know we've been through some struggles, and I know we need to try to monetize that. But here's the thing: ain't nobody coming to save us. We still fighting. There's nobody coming to save us. You got all these people still marching. Nobody coming to save us. We need to start having the conversations that are meaningful. We've talked enough about theories, being kings, coming from Africa, coming from Egypt. That's been done so much. I haven't heard nobody
Mhm.
talking about building factories, owning
Mhm.
farms, building schools. When we built the school, it's a school attached to public school where you still need the ecosystem. Asians go to their own school, but they do go to college now. But after they go to college, they go back right to work for Asians.
Yeah. And
I'm
so
telling
what I think like when we are comparing our community to other communities that are more accepted in American culture, we kind of got to look at the differences. Like this system of ownership, this system of entrepreneurship, this system of creating community, let's keep it a buck, it is not the same story for Black people in America. Like we can compare to the Arabs, we can compare to the Asians, we can compare to the
yeah.
Mexicans, but the systemic racism is real in our country to where it is something where it might be afforded to us, but let's keep it a buck. Like we talk about Booker T. Washington and Tuskegee, but like Black Wall Street was a thing, and I feel like that was a demise. You had things going on with like the syphilis outbreak in Mississippi where they're like sterilizing and giving. So like this system, like we have legit, we're not human beings. So like to compare us to Asians or to compare us to Arabs, our experience is different. I do agree with you. When are we going to be done with the talking and get to rectifying the problem, right? And when are we gonna come up with some solutions? And I think again, I agree what you're saying, like economics, and I feel, and tell me if I'm wrong. Like I really feel like what you're saying is like money's going to talk. So we got to get our money right if we want to get the culture right, because and I feel like you're saying like these other cultures got the money right. That's why they can afford to have a lot of these things, which is true. But I do think like and I'm not, I guess it is, I don't know if it's an excuse or maybe just a reasoning, but I feel like there have been attempts to do these things, but the barriers are so thick when it comes for Black people doing them.
Mhm.
Oftentimes it prevents us from moving forward. Dr. Umar is a great example of that. Somebody who doesn't have a whole lot of money tried to start up his own Black school, and it took 5 or 10 years for him to even do that. But then you got somebody like P. Diddy, Kanye West, goddamn LeBron James, who started up charter schools with their own money. You know what I mean? And so, like, does celebrity got to be attached to it? Like, it's so many different dynamics when we talk about the flourishment of our community. I'm with you though. We have to be able to find out
Go,
some
go
sort of
ahead.
I,
solution.
I
Y'all,
want
I
my
gotta
brother
get out this.
to
no, I ain't gonna lie,
It's hot as fuck in here.
go. Go ahead.
I was getting another example. If y'all know about Tariq Nasheed, there's a hidden history museum that he did that he raised money, raised money over $1 million, and he opened a
Yeah.
hidden history museum. And now he's having having people donate consistently to make sure it's nice and open. You about to say, go ahead, Hakeem? What you about to say?
no,
It's
All right, I gotta go.
it's a waste of money.
no. Muhammad has a question in the chat. Hakim, I don't know you see it for her.
Yeah.
Stepped away. Go crap. Do we?
So
Damn, she.
so who
No,
is
she
your
had to go. She had to go. But go ahead.
who is your teacher when it comes